the playing of the national anthem in the red and the black.
Sikeston, neath the red and the black.
Welcome, parents and guests, to the 2020 commencement program. Parents and guests are requested to remain in their seats during the commencement ceremony. At this time, we will have the reading of the senior poem and the speeches. First, Emily Boyd will read Moving Ahead. Next, Brenna Weezy will read Through the Lens. And finally, Rory James will read the final chapter. Graduates, please be seated.
Moving ahead, graduates, though a curveball was thrown into our final year, it should not take away from our wonderful memories here. From dancing the night away to cheering at Friday night games, to now as we listen to our principals read off our names. We have made friendships to last a lifetime as we continue on life's constant climb. Now is the time where we begin to venture out on our own and leave behind everything that we've ever known. No longer will we be surrounded by familiar faces as we transition and head off into different places. Whether we head off to the military, college, or even the workforce, it is true that the skills we've learned here will have set us on the right course. As we move forward into the next phase, we should not forget the impact of our high school days. We'll never forget the highs and the lows, the triumphant feelings, and sometimes devastating blows. We hope to be able to think back on these days and smile, remembering our friends and reminiscing for a while. Now remember, graduates, you can always look back and remember your home here, neath the red and the black. Thank you.
All right, so before I start the speech, I do have a little disclaimer. Is everyone okay with me giving this speech in person? Because I can airdrop everybody the Zoom link later, since that's kind of how we're doing things now. Okay, great, then I'll continue. So, as many of you may know, my name is Brenna Weezy. For those of you who don't recognize me, I'm that girl at every football and basketball game with half of her face covered by a camera. Ring a bell? Thought it would. Being behind the camera at all these games, award ceremonies, and other memorable events for the past several years, I've had the honor of seeing Sikeston in a beautiful, cinematic way. I have had the honor of capturing our last few years through the lens. Looking back through the photos I've taken throughout the years, I've realized that a lot has changed for us Sikeston 2020 seniors. We've witnessed the teacher baby boom of 2018. We saw an increase at about 700% in Mexican restaurants. One Direction broke up. We've even seen a shift in fashion trends. Like, who would have thought a mask and gloves would be in today? Not me. Really though, I've loved seeing the changes in my own life, good and bad, that have made me the person I am today, and watching the same process within you all. And I know they say change is good, but man, what I wouldn't give to have another vehicle standoff at the gate of that tennis parking lot one more time, or force myself to laugh as Coach Hollifield cracks another joke or does another impression in class. And what I wouldn't give to walk into a dance and be greeted by all my friends, or to chant, "He's a freshman," while little Peyton Howard runs onto the court like we did just 4 short years ago. Or to hear "Touchdown Bulldogs" ring throughout this very stadium on a Friday night. These are all things that other schools don't have. Do you realize how lucky we are to have our little things to remember? You don't need a camera to capture these things in your mind. Like I said, change is good, but change is hard. To prevent some of the difficulty in change, you need to live in the moment. I want each of you to look to the left and the right of you. Notice who you're sitting by. You've sat by them in this order of last name your whole life, and now you'll never sit by them again. I'll miss you, W's. Breathe in and cherish every moment, because you never know when it's your last. We had the front row seat to learning that lesson. Taking pictures at events like these was never about posing them and getting the perfect angle. It's about catching people laughing with one another, crying with one another, doing things that they'll never get to do again once they walk this stage. My pictures were genuine. Nothing mattered more than when I clicked that button and snapped that picture. The moment was over, and I caught it. Now it's your turn. Grab your own camera and go to your own games. Drop the desire for the perfect angle or the perfect filter and take pictures you love. Don't let people tell you how to pose or where to stand. How about this? I'll drop the metaphor. Go be lawyers. Go be doctors. Go be artists. Go be what you want to be. Listen to that again. What you want to be. If you've just been sitting around waiting for some kind of sign, some glowing orb to come tell you where you're meant to be and what you're meant to do, this is it. Some of us are about to pay a tuition that may take us years to pay off. Make it count. Even if you're taking another path, what I'm about to say applies to everyone. Everything is intentional. Every angle, every filter, every close-up, zoomed-in, shoulder-cropped image has a story. Your lens sees every angle. It follows you to work, back home, everywhere. When you flip back through the photos of your life, what do you want to see? And how do you want to be seen? Through your lens. Thank you.
For the class of 2020, our 4th grade year was a leap year. And for the 4th graders in Miss Deanna Ginther's class at Southeast Elementary, it meant a pause from regular lessons and a special event where we talked about the future. Miss Ginther brought in her cap and gown, and we all took turns trying it on and taking pictures. We heard from guest speakers talking about high school and extracurriculars in college. For the first time, we were labeled the class of 2020. But as 10-year-olds in 2012, 2020 seemed like a lifetime away. We were looking forward, but only to middle school, to extra freedom and more choices at lunch, a bigger library and clubs. This trend continued throughout our tenure at Sikeston Public Schools, always looking forward, but never looking for graduation. We waited for dances, band, and sports, switching classes, and even the prize top lockers in 8th grade. And then in a blink, we were freshmen. At orientation, we were given a letter to write to our future selves, something to look back on at the end of our senior year, remembering our goals and the things we wanted to accomplish in high school. For the first time, the idea of being a senior and one day graduating didn't seem so far off, and we were scared yet exhilarated. We wrote that we wanted to play sports and go to dances, to join student council and one day run for a red pepper office. We had big dreams and specific ideas of what we wanted our years at Sikeston High School to look like, and yet I don't think a single one of us wrote down that we wanted a shorter senior year. But that is exactly what we got. After going through these past few months, I think I truly understand the value of tradition.
For 3 years, we saw the classes in front of us take part in events. They had senior nights and prom, gave away their red pepper offices, and had one last send-off assembly. They played spring sports, went to state for DECA and FBLA and Skills USA, and wore prom dresses at a final band concert. And we waited for our turn, cheering on those in front of us. But our day never came. And while that fact is no one's fault, the class of 2020 was left to grieve the end we were supposed to have. In fact, we aren't sad because it ended, but because we didn't get a last goodbye. Our last day of school was March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and we went about like everything was normal. We didn't get to say goodbye to the campus we called home for 4 years, say thank you to the teachers that shaped our lives, or hug our classmates. We didn't even get to hear Coach No come over the intercom and tell us to leave campus and not return, giving us one final walk together to our cars. And there is no worse grief than not knowing that your last goodbye is going to be your last goodbye. Losing the end of our senior year truly felt like the end to our way of life. We've lived in this bubble of Sikeston and familiarity and having time to look forward to what's next while slowly moving on to that next chapter. We were ready to leave, but ready to leave with the condition that we got to close this chapter first. But instead, we were left with a gap, a hole, and a grieving heart. It doesn't feel right moving on without first ending high school, but we don't really get a choice. We've gone through the 5 stages of grief, and now we must focus on the last one, acceptance. The choice to end this way wasn't ours, but we must accept the place that we're at and soak up our last few remaining moments. Sikeston High School isn't the only one in a situation such as this. Seniors all over the world are facing similar circumstances, uniting us at a time when we feel so separated. But this class is strong. We were born during 9/11 and will be graduating during a pandemic. In the midst of tragedy, we come together, and no matter where our paths take us, we will always be connected. What else might our lives bring? We've been raised in a world that forces us to keep our heads up and look to the future. We know that if there's something that we want, it's not a promise or a guarantee, but something that we have to work towards, and work we will. I'm proud to stand before you as a member of the class of 2020, knowing that my classmates will be the ones to change the world, not just talk about it. We see the problems, but we work towards the solutions, keeping our heads held high and waiting for our time, like we've done all our lives. We are strong and determined, and while after the conclusion of this ceremony, we may no longer be students at Sikeston High School, we will forever be the class of 2020. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what that means. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the principal of Sikeston High School, Mr. No. Mr. No has been in education for 18 years. He taught social studies for 14 years and served as an assistant principal at SHS before being named head principal. Mr. No is a 1996 graduate of SHS and will go on to receive his bachelor's degree in teaching certification from Southeast Missouri State University. He continued his education at Southeast, earning a master's and specialist degree in educational administration. Mr. No is a veteran of the United States Army and served a year-long tour in Iraq in 2004. He resides in Sikeston with his wife, Chris, and their 6 children, 4 of which have graduated from Sikeston High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. No.
Thank you, Tadriana. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 119th commencement ceremony in the history of Sikeston High School. Tonight is a night like no other as we come together to celebrate the class of 2020. However, I proclaim that the class of 2020 is a class like no other. On March 17th, these students attended what would turn out to be their final day of their senior year. Uncertainty and doubt would set in that this moment, this opportunity to walk across a stage in front of family and friends would ever come. I am a firm believer that there is a plan way bigger than us, and I never doubted for a second that we would be able to provide this moment for our students. Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to recognize these seniors for their numerous academic and athletic achievements. I will recognize award winners in groups. However, these awards are listed individually by student in your program. The students that are being recognized have received one or more of the following awards and honors. The Laud graduation system is a way to recognize academic honors and graduates. It is based solely on the cumulative weighted grade point average. Students graduating cum laude with a GPA between 3.75 and 3.99, please stand to be recognized. Students graduating magna cum laude with a GPA between 4.0 and 4.24, please stand to be recognized. Students graduating summa cum laude with a GPA of 4.25 and above, please stand to be recognized. A bronze cord is awarded to graduates who have completed 50 hours of volunteer community service. Graduates who have received a bronze cord, please stand to be recognized. A silver cord is awarded to graduates who have completed 75 hours of volunteer community service. Graduates who have received a silver cord, please stand to be recognized. A gold cord is awarded to graduates who have completed 100 hours of volunteer community service. Graduates who have received a gold cord, please stand to be recognized. The A+ award is given to graduates who attend a designated A+ school for 3 consecutive years, have a minimum of 2.5 GPA on a 4.0 unweighted scale, have at least 95% attendance, maintain a good citizenship record, and perform at least 50 hours of unpaid tutoring. Graduates who have received the A+ award, please stand to be recognized. Athletic scholarships are awarded by colleges and universities to graduates who will be participating in athletics at the collegiate level or by local organizations in recognition of a student's outstanding contributions as a high school athlete. Graduates who have received an athletic scholarship, please stand to be recognized. Academic scholarships may be awarded by colleges, universities, or other organizations with qualifications which often include service, character, leadership, in addition to academic achievement. Graduates who have received an academic scholarship, please stand to be recognized. The Bright Flight Scholarship is awarded to seniors who have scored a 30 or higher on the ACT. Graduates who have received or qualified for a Bright Flight Scholarship, please stand to be recognized. Sikeston High School is blessed to have a Career and Technology Center as part of its campus under the leadership of Director Mr. Chad King. Students have the opportunity to learn valuable skills and trades during their time here, which they can take with them after high school. Several students receive certifications while attending classes through Sikeston Career and Technology Center. Credentials for the available certifications are listed in the back of your program. Graduates who have earned a designated certification through Sikeston Career and Technology Center, please stand to be recognized. The next awards to be presented this evening are for the salutatorian and valedictorian. These titles are given to the top 2 students in each graduating class. This year's salutatorian is an exceptional student who earned a GPA of 4.4889 on a 4.0 weighted scale. This year's salutatorian is Miss Emily Boyd. This year's valedictorian is also an exceptional student who earned a GPA of 4.5116 on a 4.0 weighted scale. This year's valedictorian is Miss Leon Alkalani. Congratulations. The final recognition this evening goes to a group of students who hold a very special place in my heart. As a veteran of the United States military, I'm always extremely proud when we have students make the decision to serve in something much larger than themselves after graduation. Will the students who have chosen to serve our great country in the armed forces please stand to be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the Sikeston High School class of 2020 is filled with young men and women who are ready to take on the world. We are blessed here at SHS with a diverse population consisting of individuals prepared to excel in numerous different areas. This year's senior class has distinguished themselves by being awarded almost $2 million in scholarship money to use in various areas after high school. Congratulations once again to this outstanding class. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Our next speaker goes above and beyond to better our school district. He truly cares about each and every student and staff member here. Sikeston Public Schools is blessed to have a superintendent that embodies everything a leader should be. Dr. Robinson has been in education for over 22 years. He received his bachelor's from Evangel University in history, his master's in educational administration from Northwest Missouri State University, and his doctorate degree in educational administration from the University of Phoenix. Prior to serving as Sikeston R6 superintendent, he has served as a history teacher, assistant principal, director of secondary, and deputy and superintendent of secondary. Dr. Robinson has been married to his wife Stephanie for over 25 years and has 3 children, Noah 22, Jonah 18, and Cameron 12. Dr. Robinson is focused on providing learning experiences for students that prepare them for careers in college. He has implemented innovative programs and partnerships in schools and districts throughout his career. Dr. Robinson is committed to the professional and personal growth of the students, teachers, and administrators that he serves. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you our superintendent, Dr. Robinson.
That could have ended badly. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's a pleasure to be here tonight because we didn't know we were going to be here. We were unsure. But Mr. Noah and his team made a commitment, and we are glad that we are able to be here to celebrate our graduates who will soon be alumni tonight. This is an exciting, joyous, and emotional time. It's a time where we get to come together and we get to honor these students, these young men, these young women, and we get to take pride in them, their accomplishments, their growth, their maturity, their resiliency, and the perseverance that they've shown throughout this school year, and especially since March. And we get to showcase them not only to our community, but throughout the region. At this time, I want to say some thank yous. I'd like to thank our Board of Education, former President Matt Tanner, current President Glenn Cantrell, Aaron Boyce, Rebecca Stewart, who is not present tonight, Chad Blease, Matt Drake, and Ben Alcorn. Thank you for supporting our students and teachers and administrators. I would also like to recognize at this time our central office staff, because central office is about supporting students primarily, teachers, support staff, and our administrators. Central office staff, Ms. Lori Boardman, Chuck Mays, Shannon Hollefeld, Dr. Kimberly Blissett, Sarah Thompson, Connie DeMint, my secretary, Carrie McDougall, and all our support staff in central office. Thank you for your efforts this school year. All of our graduates are here because of the hard work and commitment and dedication from numerous teachers and administrators from kindergarten center to early education to middle school to junior high. So we want to thank our teachers and administrators and support staff in all of those facilities for the work that you've done to get our graduates to this point. Thank you. And I want to give a thank you to Mr. No and the incredible high school staff of teachers and administrators and support staff for their work this year in really leading, guiding, mentoring, and encouraging our students, families, and our community this year. Thank you for your leadership, your care and concern for our students and our community. Thank you. Now, we couldn't all be here if it were not for some great parents and loved ones in our lives. So I said a thank you to our parents, grandparents, guardians, relatives, friends, and loved ones who are here and entrusted us with educating your child. And thank you for encouraging them and supporting them throughout their lives and to getting them to this point. Thank you. And my final thank you goes to our graduates, our seniors. Thank you for your kindness, your energy, your showing Sikeston spirit, introducing me to what it really means to be a bulldog, watching you compete in athletics, band performances, orchestra performances, visiting classrooms, assemblies. Thank you. And we are wishing you the utmost best success as you move forward. But I'm not done. So, as you move on from Sikeston High School, we want you to remember this point as a foundational point for you to move on to greatness. You've already had an impact on your community and the world. From the relationships you develop, the friendships, the impact you've had on your families and relatives, the mindsets that you've changed, the opinions that you've changed, you're already having an impact. To a class that has taught the city, the community, the region, how to support one another in one of the most unprecedented times in our history. To being, I believe, one of the most celebrated graduating classes to ever come across this stage. Everybody will remember the class of 2020. But now it's time for you to do even more. To consider, what are your next steps? I want to leave you with 3 things. The first is embrace what makes you special. James Baldwin says, you have to decide who you are, force the world to deal with you, and not with the idea of you. Embrace who you are, what drives you, what talents you possess, what dream propels you and gets you out of bed every day, and what makes you you. Embrace it and celebrate it every day. 2, get comfortable with fear and failure. Now, I don't mean for you to be comfortable with being lazy. What I mean is I want you to be comfortable with overcoming fear and failure. Those are facts that you will deal with for the rest of your life. How you react and respond to them, that is what defines you. Recently, I was reminded of this as I was packing up. We were packing up our home and my 18-year-old son found an article that was about me from my high school time, and he started reading it. First, I don't believe newspapers write about children this way, but basically they had called me the doormat of the conference. I was a part of a wrestling team that won 3 state titles, but my first year and a half, it wasn't very good, and they were recalling that history. But then it goes on, my son went on to read, and it talked about how I defeated everyone I'd ever lost to. And that's overcoming failures. And I want you, whatever obstacle, whatever fear, whatever failure you endure, you can overcome it. And my final piece is serve others. No matter what you're doing in life, where you're at, where you're going, find some way to help someone. Whether it's one person at a time, serve others. Our world truly needs it at this time. And as I wrap up, I leave you with this final quote. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Go face your futures and make your dreams come true. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the president of Sikeston R6 Sikeston Board of Education, and also the president of Sikeston Public School Foundation, Matt Tanner. Matt has a wife, Erin, and a son, Luke, who will soon be a sophomore at Sikeston High School. Matt Tanner is a Sikeston High School graduate of the class of 1989. Matt is a 2003 graduate of Southeast Missouri State University, where he obtained a bachelor's of science degree in business and administration. He also graduated in 2009 from Graduate School of Banking at Louisiana Sikeston University. He is currently the president of First State Bank here in Sikeston. Matt is an avid Bulldog fan, some may say rabid Bulldog fan. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Matt Tanner.
Well, first off, before I forget, this is not even in my speech, but congratulations to all the graduates of 2020. You guys have certainly endured some different things, and we're very happy to be able to do this tonight. First off, I'd like to thank the graduates, parents, friends, family, Board of Education, the administration, and the educators for coming to our commencement. And before I forget, I would like to thank the high school administration team, our maintenance department, our technology department, and our partner ABCO for making this possible tonight. They've made an unconventional commencement ceremony during unconventional times and making it as conventional as possible. And thank you for dialing up the beautiful weather. And with all the effort that they put into this, I think they deserve a round of applause. Additionally, I'd like to publicly thank 2 people who I've come to know and admire for their many years of dedicated service to the Sikeston R6 School District. I'd like to congratulate them on their retirements, Lori Boardman and Chuck Mays. And yes, I think they deserve that too. And finally, before I get too far gone, I would like to personally thank, and typically I don't do this, I don't speak on behalf of the board, but I think they will allow me this chance to speak on behalf of the board, to thank our extraordinary community for passing our recent bond issue that will give us a new Lee Hunter Elementary building and a new SU building. Your support for our district means more than you know. Give yourselves a round of applause. When I was preparing for this speech, I had a lot of things going through my mind, and first I thought, you know what? I'm going to wow them with my brilliance. And so that really is not going to happen. Next, I thought I would try to make you laugh. I'm not a really good joke teller. And then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I can make them cry. Nah, that's too mushy. So, all things considered, I just decided to be sincere. So this is from the heart. And besides, Mrs. Morgan said I only had 3 minutes or less. So here goes. So, does my 3 minutes start now or does it start before? Before? Okay. Graduates, although your senior year didn't go quite as planned, unfortunately, I have to tell you, get used to it. As you will soon discover, life doesn't go as planned. We all tend to have our best laid plans put before us, but life happens and gets in the way. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. Jeremiah 29:11. In these times, it seems that all the cliches seem to ring truer to me. Carpe diem, seize the day. There are graduates among you all who were sitting here March 17th, or as their junior year ended, on whether it be any extracurricular activity or just your junior year. You're sitting here thinking, I will have my senior year to, and you guys fill in the blank, and that didn't happen. So that means live every day like you live like it's your last. I think that's what as part of this has taught us. And I've said all that to say this. The 2020 Sikeston R6 graduates, your class will definitely be one to remember. You've been forced to take the path less traveled, and you are blazing new trails and beginning your journey. One of my favorite U.S. presidents, and I love quotes, and I saw Dr. Robinson, he has quotes, and I like wording or weaving these quotes into what I say. The best way to predict your future is to create it. That's Abraham Lincoln. The next is Thomas Jefferson. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. I got 2 more, I promise. That's the last 2. To those of you who received honors, awards, and distinctions, I say, well done. And to the C students, I say, you too can be President of the United States, George W. Bush. I like that one too. And finally, actually I'm going to add one more, I just thought of it. Intelligence plus character, that is the true goal of education. That's Martin Luther King. But above all, especially in the times that we live in, just be nice. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. Finally, we are Sikeston. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the presentation of diplomas, please be respectful with your applause. Ethan Adams. Martina Aguilar. Hayden Alcorn. Ariana Aldridge. Preston Alexander. Layan Alkalani. Kira Anthony. Destiny Atkins. Madison E. Barber. Madison O. Barber. Tadriana Barnett. Miranda Bartlett. Mariah Barton. Madison Beck. Tonisha Bennett. Drew Berry. Pierre Berry. Lauren Black. Ashanti Blackman. Nathan Blackman. Grace Blanton. Charles Boyce. Emily Boyd. Allison Briley. Abigail Broom. Braden Brown. Ezekiel Brown. Gwendolyn Brown. Tylen Brown. Michaela Burns. Jonathan Burton. Roderick Cannon. John Cantrell. Rebecca Cantrell. Kylie Carr. Kirsten Cheser. Warren Chinwuko. Connor Clark. Caitlin Clark. Matthew Clayton. Connor Coatney. Olivia Cobb. Isabel Collins. Reagan Collins. Ainsley Colwick. Seth Copeland. Charles Cox. Zachary Cox. Austin Crawford. Jonathan Crow. Levi Curry. Jade Davis. Zane Davis. Josiah Deegan. Carissa Denning. Logan DeRouche. Zamarion Douglas. Destiny Joe Drury. Emma Drury. Samuel Drury. DeAnthony Dukes. Jaleesa Eggleston. Dylan Elliott. Alexander Ellis. Sierra Irwin. Landon Estes. Daquan Evans. Markia Evans. Hannah Fodge. David Fuller. Abigail Garces. Cameron Garcia. Drew Gardner. Donnie Gardner. Matthew Garner. Alexis Gates. Carter Gates. Donald Gibson Jr. Chloe Gonzalez. Selena Gonzalez. Blair Gordon. Keon Grand. Anthonius Gray. Alicia Green. Mallory Green. Taylor Green. Levi Harris. Nicholas Harrison. Gretchen Hawkins. Maisha Hayes. Jackie Hayes. Kobe Henson. Madison Hicks. Beyonce Hightower. Kylie Hotchkiss. Shelby Hotchkiss. Sakaya Hood. Lauren Hornback. Mary Howard. Peyton Howard. Tyrone Howard. Michaela Hutton. Brian Jasper. Rory James. Layton Jenkins. Anthony Johnson. Jakyla Johnson. Tevin Johnson. Ardra Jones. Cherie Jones. Jeffrey Jones. Lakin Kaminsky. Kylie Kennedy. Joseph Kinsey. Juan Lara. Luis Lara. Nadia Lascano. Sierra Lascano. Lang Lee. Jordan Lynn.
Daquan Long. Javiana Long. Juan Lopez. Kylie Lossing. Jacob Lovell. Shawnee Lynch. Takira Mallory. Hannah Manning. Alexa Matney. Connor McCameron. Isabel McGill. Emily McAfee. DeShanti McKellar. Ethan McClard. Logan McLean. Caden Meadows. Nathaniel Maharez. Madeline Miller. Aeneas Moore. Heaven Moore. Jamarlin Moore. Jacob Moore. Colin Murphy. John Myers. Cammie Nance. Lucas Nation. Kylan Newton. Mylene Wynn. Cedric Pace. Rasheed Parker. Gwyneth Pearson. Mercedes Pete. Lorandis Phillips. Michaela Phillips. Taylor Phillips. Lily Piepenbrock. Aaron Pinnell. Nicholas Ponder. Nicole Ponder. Anna Pointer. Carly Pratt. Ethan Presley. Sarah Proffer. Kiara Pulley. Morgan Pulliam. Megan Ramsey. Jaden Red. Samari Reed. Terrence Rosano. William Richmond. Denasha Robinson. Mason Robinson. Robert Rodriguez. Gage Rowling. Claudia Santos. Landon Savage. Cameron Schlosser. Alicia Shell. Macavia Simmons. Jemiah Simpson. Ashton Sims. Kenyon Smith. Seth Stillman. Kewan Stevenson. Taiwan Stevenson. Clark Stewart. Cartavia Stewart. Savannah Stoddard. Grant Stoner. Alexis Sturgeon. Aubrey Sullivan. Nicholas Summers Welter. Christopher Sutton. Colleen Sweeney. Caitlin Tabor. Gabrielle Talley Blissett. Harley Taylor. Javion Taylor. Jamonica Taylor. Trenton Taylor. Audrey Testa. Jalen Thompson. Hannah Tidwell. Taylor Tidwell. Logan Tollison. Nathaniel Vaughn. Jonathan Vaught. Haley Virus. Jacqueline Vogel. Betty Vroman. Lenarius Walker. Madison Walker. Elijah Ward. Tyler Ward. Craig Ware. Alexander Watson. Diamond Weekly. Kirsten Webb. Madeline Weems. Brianna Winling. Britton Western. Mercedes White. Brenna Weezy. Caden Wilburn. Destiny Williams. Sabrina Williams. Tequila Williams. Mandy Wilson. Megan Witt. Miranda Witt. Quentin Woodson. Hannah Yant. Dejanay Yarber. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2020.
Cue the music, Steve. Let's go, everybody.